So, friends, the returns are in front of you. I repeat, this is an educational session, and the whole idea is to help you become informed investors. A lot of you come to us that you want capital guarantee. We don't offer you any capital guarantee investment. A lot of you come and ask us for higher returns. We do not do that. As of now, we don't do cryptocurrencies also. Our model is very simple. We buy great companies at a low price. We buy companies when they have not grown to let's say $100 billion valuation, and we watch them grow. And every quarter we read their annual reports or quarterly reports. We talk to their management. We use their products to have more insight about these companies. It's a learning process. Now let's go to the today's topic, which is the perfect recipe for Ryan Rich series 14, how to identify great companies, or how we identify great companies for you. So as I spoke to you just now that our investment philosophy is SQGLP. Let me stress on the quality, because they say it's all about quality. And I'm sure when I meet you when I come to your office or when I meet you, I see that all of us believe in wearing brands, using brands. For example, right now I'm using an Apple laptop. I'm sure many of you using iPhone, and that's what we all want to use in our life. So if we are so concerned about the quality, even in the fashion industry, today I was reading that Hermes and Louis Vuitton and Richmond, all these brands are doing very good because people are willing to buy them even at a higher price. So my point is very clear that we all are quality conscious. Once the money comes in, we all would love to do discretionary spend. People love to come in Emirates business class, even if the flight fare are 3 times or 4 times. The point here is we all somewhere in our life seek quality. Now, if we seek quality in our life, in our day-to-day life, why do we not seek quality in our investment life? Now, let's move forward. So our aim in this session is to emphasize the quality aspects in identifying great companies. And some of the difficult criteria are employee retention, strength, corporate culture, the CEO's rating, the employee stock option policies. They tell investors that how the management would like to leave an impression or make money for shareholders. I think you would have heard about the ESG investing. This has also become a very important factor for investors to invest in a company. And they are pressurizing a lot of oil or fossil fuel company to move to the ESG compliance. They are also pushing banks not to invest or lend money to fossil fuel companies. So these are some difficult criteria. Now there are some simple criteria which can be found from, let's say, balance sheet, or you can look at a product. So I ask my children, you would like to wear or you would like to see Netflix or Amazon Prime at home? The answer I get is Netflix. You ask any old person which shoe you like, generally they say Skechers. So the point is very clear that quality can also be figured out in a layman terms, and that's what my team is gonna tell you today. Now, one easy way of finding quality is looking at the stocks written for minimum 10 years. My team has shown you here 5-year return as well. Now look at the 5-year return. Tesla has made 27 times, very highly exceptional. Netflix has made us 6 times if somebody would have invested. MasterCard, Google, Nike, Skechers. There's a company called Copart in our portfolio. Kirkland Lake Gold Mining, they have also made 8 times. Now, one aspect of finding quality easily is looking at the 10-year or 5-year returns of a particular stock. This is not a guarantee to make money for the next 10 years, but this is one very simple way of looking whether I should look at this company to invest or not. So if a company has performed pretty well, in fact, Geely and Amazon have also done similar. So 6 times or 7 times people have made in the last 5 years, they would have invested in great companies. How do we find great companies? A very simple way is to look at their last 5-year return or last 10-year return. Now, I think the next slide is about 10-year returns. Now, if I look at 10-year returns, Tesla still tops, Netflix is still second number, MasterCard is roughly third, Google, Nike, Skechers, Copart, all these companies are still holding the battle. So there are likely possibility that they will also hold the battle in the next 10 years. From a layman perspective, now I am assured that these companies are quality. Now I can look at the different aspects of these companies. So quality is also about the quality of product. You don't have to be financial expert. So it's a very simple thing. Let's say I would like to invest in a company which makes pizza or donut. I can randomly go to 10 or 15 outlets which are listed, and I will take my friends along with me. And if the product is good, the food product is good, there could be a point of differentiation. For example, Apple. Now, I tried to be away from Apple, at least for using my phone. What I found is people who use Apple, they cannot use anything else. So Apple innovates, and that is the reason Apple is prevalent there. By the way, Apple is not in the list here, but Apple has also done similar kind of it. Now, employee strength. I will just let you know when you have to take over. So we have a company in our portfolio which is basically into e-streaming giant, and this company has an employee strength today at 2075. In 2016, this company had an employee strength of 708. Now, if you look at the consistency and the growth record of employee strength. Now, how do you get the employee strength? Every company, every listed company declares this in their annual report. So 708 employees to 2075 employees is a massive, as a very good track record of roughly more than or nearly 3 times, which is 24% CAGR for 5 years. And it has got a competitor called DouYu, which started in the industry with 1,822 employees, which is a number available to us. And it is still struggling to grow their employee numbers. In fact, you see in 2019, there is a fall from 1920, from 18 to 19, there is a fall in the numbers, where Huya is being consistently hiring. So this is also one way of looking at the quality. In fact, if you look at Tesla, we can't show you every number, but you will be surprised to know that Tesla has grown from 700 to roughly 40,000 employees in last 10 years. And that's remarkable. So even this could be a very good criteria to understand whether you're buying a quality company or not. Because give it or take it, you need to have number of employees, you need to have quality employees, you need to retain them. And these are all quality aspects while finding a great company. Anirudh, over to you.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. So now we actually conducted a proprietary research from Client First team. We asked one of our members of our team to go around to the public and see how their preferences are regarding to what kind of brands of sports shoes that they prefer. So when we approached a total population of about 50 people around the vicinity, and we found these were the results in numbers, if you can see. So around 40% of the people have a preference towards the top brands, which you can think of the top of your head, like Adidas and Nike. Whereas Skechers, which is another up and coming brand in the sport shoes and comfort space, has about 14% of the share in the market, and according to our research. And this is what we wanted to just show in the quality aspect, how people are driven towards brand quality as such, and companies that are up and coming as well, such as Skechers. So there is a very great potential for Skechers to reach such big heights as compared to Nike and Adidas, which have already been established players for years and years so far. Yeah, the next slide. Yeah, and their main proprietary reason, we had asked them also why they decided to select the brands that they have worn. Most of the people for Adidas, Nike had come up with saying, oh, we love the brand this, that. So they were all focused on brand centric. But when it came to Skechers, it was a quite unique aspect to it, wherein they said we're very comfortable using those shoes, and their comfort technology is what gave them their outstanding image in the market, is what we came to the conclusion of. So that's what pushes and drives their demand and growth. Now, from here, we normally see that companies and management in particular, they would try to promote and give kind of half or full promises depending on how the result is. So they sometimes promise in their talks or in the earnings calls which we listen into, saying that, okay, we'd expect our company to do this in a certain amount of time. We want sales to double within the next 5 years. But do they really follow up with it is the main question to be answered. And so we've taken excerpts from certain companies' annual reports, wherein we show the expectation and the reality coming into play. So the first company here is Ollie's Bargain Outlet, wherein in 2014, they had promised about 25 to 30 new stores to be opened, which would drive their sales because they're a discount retailer. So they'd obviously work with volumes of sales. And by 2015, in the middle of the year itself, they had 5 new stores fully open, and they are already leased about 22 new stores. So which is more or less on par of what they had expected. So this is how you could gauge that they have good management with good follow through in their strategy.
Yeah, I think basically you are trying to say that whatever they have announced and promised, that's what they have fulfilled. That's also one criteria to look at the great companies. That's what you're trying to say.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you.
Now, the second company which we focused on was Stitch Fix, wherein they had promised, or they had said that they'd make additional capital investments for their inventory. So they have a model wherein they work with kind of these clothing brands basically, and they need to keep a stock of inventory, and they need to keep their fulfillment centers intact. So in order for them to scale, they needed to expand on their capital investments. And in 2020, they had promised to increase their spendings. And as a result, in their recent reports, there was a 24% uptick in their capital expenditure growth. So this is how their strategy is following through, and they're playing through on their plans. And lastly, we have another company which we took, which was Copart, where this company has a very unique model wherein they sell normally damaged vehicles all around the world. So they have a quite big market share in that play, and they wanted to expand. They're already a vast company, but despite that, they expect to expand their growth and develop new locations. So in their last annual report, they had shown their facilities in all the several countries. And on top of that, they had guided that they would plan to grow on certain emerging economies which they want to penetrate through. And one was Brazil and Spain, which they did through in 2021. Yeah. Over to Bhuvan now for the next one.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So all I'm saying that it's very simple to see. We hear promises every day. And if somebody is a stock investor and he's looking for a quality management, what he can do, he can go to the annual report, let's say in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and figure out what the management discussion has all about, and could have made a note, and then follow on in the next slide, next year's annual report, and check whether the management has delivered on their promises or not. That's also a quality management. This is how you can find a quality company. Let me summarize still here what we have discussed, and let's do this in Hindi for people who would like to take a little lighter. So हम क्या कह रहे हैं? What हम ये कह रहे हैं कि कोई भी great company find करने के कई तरीके हैं. एक simple तरीका है और एक difficult तरीका है. Simple तरीका ये है कि आप उनका product, उनका brand, जो even आपके जो बच्चे हैं, जो आप children हैं, अब वो भी आपको बता सकते हैं. तो एक वेरी सिंपल एक्सपेरिमेंट है. आप बच्चों को आइसक्रीम खिलाइए 4-5 हजार की, एंड दे कैन टेल यू कि भाई विच आइसक्रीम इज गुड. You go back and see if that company is listed and then you can look at the other aspects of the company. So, for example, if you talk about pizza or the donuts, pizza and donuts, in fact, हमें experiment अभी करना है, so we'll do this experiment with Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts and other brands. I don't even know what brands are listed. So आपको पता चल जाएगा कि that product is good. So if let's say Krispy Kreme is better than Dunkin' Donuts, so that talks about the quality of the company. Then you can go back and read about the company and you will find that how they कैसे differentiate कर रहे हैं वो अपने आप को as compared to Dunkin' Donuts. So ये एक तरीका हो गया. एक तरीका ये हो गया कि हमने what we did, हमने हमारे एक रिसर्च एनालिस्ट को बिठाया एक रेस्टोरेंट के अंदर और उनको बोला एक काम करो, 1 घंटे के अंदर यहाँ पे जितने भी लोग शू पहन के आते हैं आप नोट करो कि कितने लोग कौन से ब्रांड के शू पहन के आते हैं. So that's what Anirudh has told. हमने देखा कि Adidas के शू out of 50 or let's say basically are 11. Then we saw Nike के 9, Skechers के 7, Asics के 3, Reebok के 3. तो Reebok and जो ये आपका अपना Adidas है ये एक ही कंपनी है. तो देखिए आप Reebok और Adidas के सबसे मैक्सिमम है, Nike के सेकंड नंबर पे हैं, Skechers के थर्ड नंबर पे हैं. But if you look at market cap wise, Skechers is the smallest and Adidas and Nike are the biggest. Now point ये नहीं है, point ये कि these companies, people, the brand is registered in their head, so they would have done better or they might do better because they are quality as per what the product they are delivering and as per the customers who are using it. So ये हमने आपको बताया. फिर आपको अनिरुद्ध ने एनुअल रिपोर्ट से एग्जैक्ट दिखाए. मैंने आपको 5 और 10 साल के रिटर्न दिखाए बिकॉज 5 और 10 साल के रिटर्न से भी समझ में आ जाता है कि कंपनी अच्छी है कि नहीं. तो 5 और 10 years रिटर्न से भी हमें समझ में आया कि भाई these companies have done very good. Now they could also be great. Now we can look at their products and services. That's how we find the great aspect or quality aspect of it. Now I'm presenting you one more aspect of finding the quality. Now who runs the company? The company is run by the CEO. Now in our portfolio, when we looked at which company has done much better as compared to the CEO tenure, so we found that a company A and company B, where C and company E and F and D, where the CEO has spent a lot of time in that company, either in various positions or as a CEO, the company's stock performance has been significantly higher as compared to the one CEO who has just come in the company 2 years back. So CEO or the management is all about a company. And India, they in fact say that everything is management. In our scenario, it is not the case. So it management and the business both are important. But how long a management or a CEO has performed within the company or stayed in the company, the chances of stock performance being higher increases. That's what we are trying to show you here. Okay. Shilpa, I think it's now your turn.
It's the next slide, sir.
Okay.
Next slide.
So one more very important criteria is basically return on equity and revenue growth. Obviously, if I want to make $1 million or millions in a company, the management has to make billions for themselves. So here we are trying to show you that a company who has got a $34 million turnover in 2010, and it is now at $386 million turnover, which is 27% of revenue growth, and the return on equity. Now, what is return on equity? The initial investment, the average investment done in that company over a period of time, how much net income has been achieved. This is a little bit technical, friends, but this is something what we do. So return on equity, which is the net profit divided by the average equity, which is the investment of or the money lent by the promoters to the company. If that has been within a range of 16 to 20%, and the revenue has grown very well, that company has grown their stock performance by 38% year on year. That's also one way of looking at the quality. Now, the second company, which is having a revenue of 2 million, 10 years, it has only grown the revenue by 8.68%. The return on equity is okay. The 10-year returns are very minimal, but it's still good, but very minimal. Now we have a company which had $40 million turnover in 2010, and 2020 it has grown into 2.4 billion, which is 50% CAGR, and return on equity was negative because in the early stage, when a company is growing, because of the taxation or because of the growth, they might not have huge profit to pay taxes, and it is only gross profit positive. Then in 2020, the return on equity has come to 15.49%. This company has done 50% CAGR for last 5 years, which is also amazing. So हम क्या करें? What we are trying to say, revenue growth and return on equity is a key. Professor Kirby, in his paper, which is called Coffee Can Investing, has promoted this. Saurabh Mukherjee of Marshall's Investment does Coffee Can. We do partly Coffee Can, we do partly Peter Lynch and Warren Buffett's strategy, as I told you. So Coffee Can is also one investing criteria, which is what this particular slide is. That's also one way of looking at the quality aspect of SQGLT. Over to you, Shilpa.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So another way to identify a great business is through diving deep into the company's mission and long-term objectives. So great businesses around the world, they are cash rich, and their ultimate mission, the long-term mission, is to return capital back to the shareholders and increase shareholder value. So I've just put in a few examples from Founders Portfolio. So over here, one of the company that we hold in the portfolio is Skechers. So as you can see, this company's long-term ultimate objective is to increase and improve its operational efficiency and to also maximize its strategic value. So as you can see, the point D for this company is to return back shareholders' wealth. So direct return to shareholders is their ultimate objective. So this is mentioned on their website. Next slide. So Kirkland Lake Gold is the gold mining company that we hold. This company has operations in Australia and Canada. So the main unique point of this company is being in the commodity sector. It's very rare for companies to not have debt. But I just want to tell you that this company is debt-free and it is a cash-rich business. And it's a great company. It's been growing its revenues really well. And also one more thing is it's one of the lowest cost miner in the industry. So this company also, if you see the last point, since this company is cash rich, its ultimate aim is to increase returns to shareholders. So as you can see, even this company has an objective to improve shareholder value. Next slide. This is Danos Corporation. This is the shipping company. So this company's business is to, they purchase ships from ship manufacturers and they lease them out to ship liner companies. So that's their business, the leasing business. Even this company is cash rich. And as you can see, the free cash flows, uses of free cash flow is to return capital back to shareholders. So these are just a few examples of the companies that we hold. All of these companies, their ultimate mission, long-term objective is to improve shareholder value and return their capital back. So this is one way to identify great businesses. The next slide. So coming to corporate culture, another way to look for great businesses and quality companies is through diving deep into the corporate culture and employee culture. So it's very important that great businesses around the world, they maintain a corporate culture wherein the employees feel a sense of belonging and they have an entrepreneurship spirit within them, and they also share their ideas freely with the top management. So they actually share their ideas and they have that entrepreneurship spirit wherein they want to grow the business. So it's very important for a company to grow organically. The employees of the business should be involved in growing the business. So these are some of the companies I put in as examples. So Skechers Inc., it has an open door policy which permits employees to discuss any issues they have or any complaints with the management. So this is where I just want to say that Skechers INC has this kind of a corporate culture wherein the employees have full freedom to share their issues with the management. And as many of you must be knowing, Amazon work culture is great. It's a decentralized culture wherein the management wants to ensure that the employees have a sense of belonging, and they create value and they get opportunities working for the firm. So as you can see the Skechers poll over here, most of the employees, around 61% of the employees, feel that the work culture is, the company culture is friendly. So this is what I want to highlight, that the employees feel a sense of belonging. And from agree or disagree, managers care about employees. Majority of them agree that the management cares. So this is what I wanted to highlight.
Thanks a lot. I think the very good point you have highlighted about the poll which you have conducted, which you have found on Skechers. So friend, so on Amazon, let me tell you, we'll do one session where we'll only discuss Amazon. It's worth reading, worth learning about it. We are right now taking the interviews of the employees of Amazon. We have some senior colleagues in Amazon, and we feel that it's a great thing if we can replicate that kind of investments in our portfolio, which is the aim. Because if we make you more money, we make more money for our members, our company, and our staff. So this is a company which is on our portfolio. So long ago, what happened? I have recommended Tesla at $62 after split, and I used to be an advisor that time. And the client was not happy because he saw that debt is too high. So I went to PitchBook. I did my research. I drove Tesla, and I was very sure that this company have a great product. Let's buy it at $20,000 roughly investment, which could have become by now $367, provided I would have kept it. So we missed the bus on Tesla. Now, when I was doing the research of an electric car company on for my portfolio, I was literally looking for a car company to get into my portfolio. So I studied about Volvo. I studied about Nissan. I went on road and checked each and every the number of cars of particular brand. So I found Toyota, and I found Nissan are the maximum number of cars in the UAE. Having said that, Nissan had some issues. There was some case going on against the management. And when I looked at Toyota, it was not really owned by the family management, which is a criteria that the promoter should be part of the. It should be promoter-driven business primarily. It's not that we can fulfill the criteria all the time. Second thing, Toyota was above our $30 billion threshold. So that also was not easy for me to approve and get the Toyota in the portfolio. Then one client came to our office and he said, I drive Volvo for my work. It's an amazing car. So I asked him who is the Volvo's owner. So he talked about that Geely has taken over Volvo, it's a Chinese company. And I happened to went to Union Motors and I drove Geely. I love the price of the car, the warranty. So a lot of cars give us warranty of 6,000 kilometers or 3 years, whichever comes first. Specifically in Toyota and BMW, I think that is the case. But in Geely, what has been offered to us is 100,000 kilometers for 5 years, whichever happened earlier. So that's a great guarantee given by one company. I came back, I discussed with my team, I looked at the 10-year chart, I looked at the debt not being in the portfolio. I also saw the car company is basically the number one car company in terms of number of cars produced in China. I read about the founder whose name is Li Shufu. It's a Rex Switch story. Then I looked at it that he owns 10% Chrysler, Daimler, he owns London Taxi, he owns Volvo, and for last 10 years, and he has turned around Volvo. So various brands are owned by Li Shufu holding company. He also owns university. And Geely, I did not find anything negative to not to own. Looking at all the parameters, I bought Geely. We made 100% return. It is down to 50% right now. But Geely's electric car story is just starting. a car called Zeekr, which is just out in the market, and it has already been sold. 200 cars have been sold. It's the first shooting brake technology. I feel that this car company might be, if all stars are correct, could be in limelight in the next 1 or 2 years. Even if it is not, I'm very sure of doubling my money in 4 to 5 years in this company, provided there is no fraud, there is no balance sheet crooking, etc. Having said that, let's focus on what we are discussing here on Jilly. We are discussing employee stock options. Now, if you want your employee to feel that it is their company, then only they will work on Saturday. So you can see why half of the team is available on Saturday where we have a holiday today. So the most important thing is how do you retain them? How do you retain talent? How do you make them feel that this is their job? So what Jilly did in August 30th, 2021, Jilly announced a share award scheme for top performing employees. And the board of directors has approved 350 million shares. Now, this is something which has already been implemented by other companies. So Jilly is now from a traditional company to getting into the tech companies. That's what I feel. Now look at Amazon, what Amazon does and what is the charm. So we had discussed with an Amazon employee also. So 85% of the salary when you come on Amazon based on your band or based on your previous company and previous salary is given to you as cash. And 15% of the salary is given as restricted stock unit. And that is split over 4 to 5 years. The first 2 years, you get 5 to 10% of your RSU. Then if you go through an appraisal, you have been given more shares. And again, the vesting period is 4 to 5 years. So let me explain to you what is vesting period. So when you join a normal company, let's say a Sindhi or Marwadi company or a Banya company, you get, let's say, a salary of, for let's say, $10,000 a month. So $120,000 is your annual package. Out of $120,000 package, they give you $100,000 fixed, and they give you $20,000 to $30,000 as a bonus if company does well. In Amazon, they don't give you cash bonus; they give you $100,000 fixed. They give you $25,000 to $30,000 as the bonus in the company, but they're called restricted stock unit. Now, out of that, how much can you vest? Vest means how many of you can actually go out and withdraw. So day one, none. But after a year, you can withdraw, let's say, 5% to 15% of your stocks, and you can encash them. Next year, again, you can do 10 to 15%. And the last 2 years, you can do 40% each, which means longer you stay in the company, more you are benefited. That's one part of the story. So 5 years is kind of a key that a client, that employee will stay. Now, every year when the appraisal happens, you might get more share based on your performance. And then again, they have the same 4 to 5 year vesting period. Brilliant way of retaining a talent. Now, this is not the magic. The magic is while you are completing your 3 years and Amazon stock has become 4 or 5 times, now think what happens. Now you are 15% bonus, restricted stock unit has actually now converted into kind of 80 to 90% of your last year's salary. And there actually employee feel part of the company. Now they become entrepreneurs because they are also having a share in the profit. And every year, based on your good work, you get more share and you get more number of years to vest. The carrot goes on. And this is what I think the key which we need to understand. This is why the company become great. And we are still studying this in great detail. I will get back to you. So employee stock option is also one great way of finding whether this company is promoting entrepreneurship culture in their company or not. Because I'm sure a lot of us who joined today are the businessmen, and they think that everything they are doing alone. You and I all need hands. My team is very talented, but I need to have them for a longer period of time because they understand the culture in 3 to 4 months, but they should stay longer. Like today, I've got them to talk to you, and hopefully in the future, they themselves will be a leader. So they need to feel that they're part of the company. That's what the great companies are doing. That's the whole point we are trying to tell you here. Today, I'm very happy that we finished our session in a 45-minute stretch. We'll be very happy to take any questions you have, which can make you a better investor. I repeat, today we spoke about the quality aspects of investing. We kept our examples limited to our portfolio because we want to be very focused towards what we are doing rather than about the tapering and inflation. You all are an expert of what's happening in China. Any stock mentioned here as part of presentation is not a recommendation to buy and sell. Stock markets are subjected to fluctuation, and you may lose or more than lose your full money or more than what you've invested. There is no capital guarantee whatsoever. If anybody is offering you a capital guarantee, please refrain from these advisors or money managers. There is nothing called freelance in this world. On that note, I would open the floor for questions and answers. Please feel free to ask, because more you ask, more you help us to become a better investor. Over to the audience.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bhuvan sir. Nikhil here.
Hi, Nikhil. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I have one question. So if I can pose, I think it was Shilpa was explaining that. So you spoke about the parameters of recognizing quality companies. And in one of the things that you spoke about, I think she spoke about saying that looking at how the company is, it's all about returning the wealth to the shareholders, creating shareholder wealth. But
absolutely,
I mean, the entire concept of stock market is that any company on the stock market or whatever it is about returning money to the shareholders. So when you say as a differentiating factor in terms of picking a quality, how is this a differentiating factor? I did not understand that. That's my question.
Okay, so very good question you asked. So Shilpa's example was very much focused towards a company called Kirkland Lake Gold Mining and Skechers. If you go through different companies' annual report or management discussion analysis, not every company is focused on the shareholders. Companies come for a vision. For example, I don't think so Tesla has ever discussed about that. Tesla is all about innovation. And they will always be focusing on innovation, and they will keep growing their company. In turn, you will get benefits. Now, here's a company which is basically into gold mining, and which it cannot be a growth company because gold resources are limited in the world. So what she was saying that if people are not even mentioning that in their annual report or their discussion, how they will even do it. So what she was saying that these two companies, Kirkland Lake Gold Mining and Skechers, mention on their website itself that we want to create the shareholder value. Now, this is generally part of the value company's approach. So why it was so important for us to discuss with you? Because as a shareholder, when I go and I want to invest in a company, I go to the website of the company, and the moment I read that this company is focusing on the shareholder value creation, it doesn't mean that Tesla or Netflix are not, but they are focusing on the growth. But when you're investing in a gold mining company, this is not a growth company. So you come here and say, okay, this company is promoting the shareholder value creation. Now, the specifics I will give you. Kirkland Lake Gold Mining Management is targeting 20% return on equity to the shareholder. That is specific the company is. So what you are saying that if you want to find a great company, it is great to find somebody who is also writing about it. Now, lots of companies give good details. Lots of companies don't give good details. So when you get good details, you feel very comfortable as a shareholder that you would like to invest. So you never know why company comes public. People talk a lot about the companies. They come to public to scam the retail investors, etc. So every company has that criteria maybe in their heart. But if it is in their heart, why don't you mention it, right? For example, there's a company called Interactive Brokers, which mentions in a letter when you open an account with them that we want to keep our shareholder value, share price cheap so that every common man can buy our company share. So all we are saying is that if somebody is writing about it, they're trying to focus more on the shareholder than anything else. I hope I answered your question.
Yes. I mean, but then companies who do not mention it, I don't know. I don't know whether Facebook mentions it on there or Tesla mentions it or does not mention it. So, I mean, do they? I don't know.
Yes. So you're absolutely correct. It doesn't mean that they are not great companies.
Okay.
So all we are not saying that, oh, you would have made a lot of money in this company. We are not discussing that. We're only investing is not full science. It's part art, part science. Today in SQGLP, we're only discussing Q. To enjoy the full SQGLP, come and invest with us.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Most welcome. Next question, please. Please type in chat if you would like to. I have already mentioned the chat. You can ask questions there also. In the meantime, you might be typing or asking. I always promote Mr. Vijay Kedia. He's a billionaire out of India, and we have taken his session already. We have already taken his interview in the last session. I will recommend that if you feel this session is technical, please go on the YouTube and listen to his songs. He has simplified investing a lot. It is us who make the investing complicated. It's a very simple process, and you never know that you will be correct. So plan for it, implement it, but be ready for getting surprised. So all I'm promoting is that, but you don't have any option, right? You buy properties thinking they will only go up, but that doesn't happen because properties are an immovable asset. You need to be investing in movable assets, which like basically talent. For example, 10 years ago, I did not know how to operate a MacBook or an Apple computer because I was not learned enough. 1 or 2 years ago, I did not know how to invest in a gold mining sector and make money. So all we are saying that invest in the assets which are increasing their value, because except land, probably all the assets are depreciating or they have a big cost, whether it is a gold bar, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a car, they all need maintenance. Even land needs maintenance to some extent. So every asset class, if it is let's say an immovable asset and it is an intellectual asset, it can continue to grow. But if it's a fixed asset, it's like a property, it's like a cash in the bank account, they will come as a cost. So any last question we have? You have any question on the market? I'm sure in market tapering and inflation is making all the investors fear. Any question on the bond side? I think, fine. So it is time to say bye, goodbye, and see you next month with some exciting topic. Most probably we will do a session specifically on Amazon next time and cover the company in detail. Thank you for joining us. It was pleasure talking to you, pleasure learning from you. Hope fully this session has helped you to become a better investor. I thank all Client First Capital team to design a particular the wonderful webinar and sending the emails out. I thank all of you for joining the session and helping us learn. Shilpa and Anirudh, thank you for speaking out in the session. Gautami, thank you for your primary research work which you have done for Skechers and the other shoe company. Let's meet again with more ground research and become a good investor. On that note, namaste and good evening.